welcome to Mr. P's Film Review again. I'm here with another retro review. If you have just tuned into this channel, I ask you to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, because I'm going to be coming at you with regular film content. This year marks 25 years since a cult classic was released. Thecrow, directed by Alex Proyas, and it stars Brandon Lee in his final film appearance, Ernie Hudson and Michael Winko. Thecrow tells the story of Eric Draven, a musician played by Brandon Lee, who on the night before his wedding, he and his wife are brutally murdered by an inner city gang. On the eve of his death, Eric Draven is mysteriously resurrected by a crow, and he gets superhuman strength, superhuman powers, and he seeks to avenge his late girlfriend's death by seeking out those who are responsible for. And this leads him up to against a mysterious criminal known as Top Dollar, brilliantly played by Michael Winko. It is impossible not to talk about the Crow without talking about the spectre that hovers over the Crow. And that is the tragic but also the incredibly bizarre death of Brandon Lee, who sadly lost his life whilst filming The Crow. Now, don't get me wrong, we've heard about these types of things before. Actors dying during the film production. Oliver Reed died during the filming of Gladiator in 2001. Paul Walker sadly lost his life during the filming of Fast and Furious 7. But this particular death of Brandon Lee is, many people still can't believe the circumstances under which he died. And as many people have dubbed The Crow the curse of the Crow, because of all the bizarre instances that took place during the filming of that production. But we'll get to that in a minute. But let's talk about The Crow itself as a film. As a film, my boy Joe Cobra lent me this film, and I watched it and I enjoyed it. I think it's highly inventive, very original. Visually it's stunning. It's incredibly bleak and gothic. This film draws inspiration from such films as, Blade Runner, Batman, in terms of its depiction of a rundown city, crime-ridden, ravaged, destroyed, depleted. Alex Proyas has made a very, very claustrophobic environment. And it makes some really, really, really great cinematography and some great scenes for the film. The standout star for me for this film, and again, it's a shame that this was his last performance, was Brandon Lee. Brandon Lee did a phenomenal job as Eric Draven and as The Crow. He took a risk doing this role, purely because we know Brandon Lee for his martial arts films, for Rapid Fire, Showdown in Little Tokyo. In this film, there are no martial arts sequences. It is just him being stripped of everything that he knows and asked to give a performance. And it showed to us that Brandon Lee was a very, very good actor. And he kept us glued to the screen. He brought the right amount of urgency, the right amount of menace, the right amount of charm, the right amount of vengeance for The Crow. And it showed to us that how much range that this young man had. No hero is ever good without its villain. And I said that time without number. And Michael Winko as Top Dollar was incredible. Michael Winko is in that elite club of actors. James Earl Jones, Morgan Freeman, Christopher Walken. These are actors with incredibly unmistakable voices. Michael Winko, easily one of the best actors around, and who knows how to give a villainous performance. And he's done some of the best performances as a villain. He played Guy Gisborne in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, played the psychopath killer in Metro alongside Eddie Murphy. He then re-teamed up with Morgan Freeman in the film Along Came a Spider. And he made a formidable foe for The Crow. Oh, that rhymed. But also, there are some really, really great set pieces in this film. Great visual effects, and the set pieces are really, really great, especially when we see The Crow going after those responsible for his girlfriend's death. And there's a great shootout in the final sequence, and The Crow at the time was still mired in controversy, which we'll talk about in a minute, but has gone on to achieve cult status. It is a film that has spawned 3 sequels. It spawned its own TV show. It's a shame that this film will always be overshadowed by the tragic passing of Brandon Lee, who sadly lost his life during the making of this film. The scene called for Brandon Lee to be shot at by a criminal. And as we know in films, actors are shot at with black bullets. But a live round was actually put in the gun. He then was shot in the abdomen and sadly lost his life. And it just went down in the annals of history as one of the most bizarre on-set incidents ever. Again, Brandon Lee died at the tender young age of 28 years of age. Bruce Lee, his dad, died at 32. And then there was all this talk about, okay, was there a curse on the Lee family name? Was there like foul play involved? We'll never know. All we know is that this film, had he not passed, would have catapulted Brandon Lee into a superstar and would have made him one of the best actors around because his performance was that great. But with that being said, I will give this film a very, very strong 8 out of 10. If you haven't seen it, watch it. But that's my review. So like I said, hit that subscribe button. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook, leave your comment with if you've seen Thecrow, what you think about it, and does it still stand? And I shall see you with the next film review, which will be The Lion King. Take care.